Wham!
When did Omar first cross your radar?
You know, when I first saw Omar, he was this little kid, probably 14 years old, and he came to this mini ramp we were skating, and we're just, you know, thinking I'm shredding this mini ramp, and this little kid came out, and he's just blasting these big Japans to fakie, and I was like, this kid has got something special. There's a little it factor to him. That's Omar Hassan. Even at his house, you know, we're skating in his pool, and he's out there with no pads, it doesn't matter. He's gonna bring it, he's gonna push it, he's gonna slam, and he's gonna get back up, and he's gonna show that his heart is in skateboarding 100%.
Dude, memory lane.
Old,
that,
like 80s.
Where did you start? Where did you end?
There. Oh yeah. What's that, Omar? I'm glad I brought it
So it's like endless memory lane right here.
Yeah.
This was my first cover, and it was in 1990. So I kind of like when skateboarding was transitioning a lot. So I always skated street. And I always skated mini ramps, started coming in hot at the time, and I always skated vert. So they kind of gave me this like crossover cover, which they put on their crossover street vert mini.
Okay, Omar Hassan, first thing that comes to mind is Lawrence of Arabia, his board.
This is your board, very stylish board indeed. Tell us a little about it. You designed it?
I designed the shape, and a friend of ours, Ron Cameron, designed the graphics. It's like a genie on a magic carpet, you know, just going over the city.
And I was like, who is this dark-skinned kid, 16? He had red hair then. I don't know, for some reason I related to Omar because, I don't know, I had 5 of his boards though, I know that.
This was Omar's first pro model, and this was from 1990. So it's kind of, you know, this definitely probably helped Omar too. He got a nice instant classic graphic. I don't know, this board did really good, you know.
To us, Omar was that generation of skater that kind of got lost because skateboarding was saying you're going to be a vert skater or a street skater at that point. And Omar still had the old mentality that we had, we're going to be skateboarders. Guys that were kind of grew up in his category have come and gone. He's very inspirational that he's put so much hard work into being a pro. He's kind of the lasting role model of that generation of guys that are going to ride everything when skateboarding was saying, no, you're not.
This was a huge time for me in as far as like career, whatever you want to call your skateboarding thing. But so this was during the San Jose mini ramp contest they had, and they put on the cover, which I wasn't like really stoked on, but they did it, and it said, "Who beat Hawk?"
That San Jose mini ramp contest, that was one of the first sanctioned mini ramp events, pro mini ramp events. And I want to say Omar had just turned pro, and so there was a lot of expectation on him, and he delivered. And yeah, he beat me, absolutely. I was just trying to do all my vert tricks on the mini ramp.
I ended up winning that event, and I think it kind of helped because at the time, like, only a few people in Hawk's whole career, especially during this time, had ever beat him or whatever.
I think I ended up just pushing it too hard because I was watching him. I was like, Jesus, I gotta like really try to do some shit here, and then couldn't do it.
For me, that was like a huge accomplishment in competitive skateboarding.
The first time I ever even heard his name, it was strange to hear somebody's name from Orange County that I didn't know or we didn't know of. So yeah, I think it was maybe Ricky or somebody telling us about, oh, this kid Omar, and he just got a surgery and he has 12 pins in his elbow. And that's kind of like one of the first things I'd ever heard of him was a young kid already had gone through surgery. And I was like, holy shit, that kid must be gnarly. He's like a skate warrior. He's that gnarly. I mean, he's taken so many slams, he's had so many injuries, and every session I've ever seen him at, he doesn't, even when he's playing, he's getting gnarly. He can split his chins open, I've seen him split his head open, I've seen him break his ankles, I've seen him whatever, and he just keeps going.
Yeah, so there it is.
How'd you get, what happened?
I didn't know how to duck at that time. I had a bad experience with this doorway at the downtown showdown. I cooked it, hit my head on the 2x4 going through the hole, and then so.
How many staples?
I think there was 42 staples, but there was like 160 inside stitches, because it's not the staples, it's the inside that they get you.
I don't know, Omar is gnarly.
He keeps the hypes on everyone. Like, you're never gonna see anyone like fucking kind of like, you know, if Hilary is around, it's gonna be a lot of fucking hype for sure. That's what I feel like skateboarding is, pretty much, you know, like someone like keeps like the hype going after 30 years, how you say, skating every fucking day, pretty much, man, and like going for it and just like getting your friend hype and everyone hype and he gets hype and it's fucking really sick to watch. It's like inspiration for sure, like pure inspiration to see, like I want to be like that, you know, I want to be fucking 45 years old and board sliding a fucking triple set, you know, like it's sick.
I think he turned pro in '89, so that's when I was born. I'm 33, so he's been doing it for a long time, been on the road for a lot of miles, and yeah, it's just epic to see him continue to do it. He's motivated me and everyone else out here.
We need that drive, we need that inspiration, we need that motivation in the world of skateboarding. You know, Omar Hassan is definitely one of those men.
And it's just thinking of all the crazy shit that Omar's done.
The first time I ever saw Omar was when I went to the combi pool in Orange, and I started skating there so I could compete in the Pro Tech pool party. And right before the event, like, there would always be these heavy sessions, and I swear Omar was at every one of them. I feel like you want to say like, oh, is Omar your role model? Like he's had this like long career, and like definitely, like I think it's cool that he's been able to like skate for so long, and also just like the level he's still skating at now is amazing. But also like sometimes seeing him go down now, I'm just like, I don't know if I want to do that.
Wish I would have rolled away from that, but I didn't. But I really appreciate all the love, all the support, everyone that came out here. That's how we do it. Peace out. Drop the mic.
This was the cover of the Skateboard Mag. This was a spot by my area, and I kept driving by and seeing it. And I went there the first time, and I ollied into it, and my board smacked me in the back of the head and cracked my head open.
Is it bad? Well, it's not horrible, but you're gonna need some stitches.
Then I ended up with my head bleeding, olling and making it, luckily.
Let's go, you got it.
And then after that, I went back, and Swift said, hey, you know, I want to give you a cover if you think you want to go back there and ollie off that thing. I don't know, it's always kind of cool to get a cover in your hometown, kind of in your backyard.
It's about taking this fucking wooden stick and being able to do anything anywhere, you know? It's more versatile than just one genre. Yeah, I think labels are stupid because there's no limits in skateboarding. You could do whatever you want to do. You don't limit yourself. You just go for it wherever you are, and go for it. And that's an Omar attitude, you know? He's a skater, and he'll always be a skater. He's gonna skate forever.
Omar was pro-mar like a few years before I was. But he was like a pro, like a real pro, you know? Like he could fucking get out in front of the people and fucking bust.
Omar Hassan!
It's just not easy to do for everyone. I mean, I could never do it. But he was like he could please the crowd. To turn it on and stay on, he could stay on. Like in a contest, he's making his run. You know, Omar's like, it's gonna be rare if he's gonna fall.
We're talking about Marseille, and the one reason I think Marseille was kind of relevant to the story, to my story in skating, is it was one of the first contests that they brought back that was like bowl skating. You know, it was at that time where, you know, now you look in the Olympics are on TV and it's park skating. And back then, there was no events that were like catered towards that style of skating.
The crowd and the energy that the ball generates, it's like Duncan would say, you know, it's controlled chaos. And Omar was fucking great at that.
They had it for 6 years, and I got first the 4 years of it, and then the other 2 years I got second place. So every time I went to that contest, I went knowing that, like, dude, I really want to do good here. So it was definitely a time in my life where I was like trying to be on my skateboard as much as I can, but like have a really good time along the way.
Omar, do something!
when he gets home from like a long day at work, he still has to pick up dog shit and take the trash out and do all the things that everyone's spouse does. And then I'll see clips like a week later and him just slamming. And I'll be, when was that, Tuesday? And he'll, yeah, and I think, gosh, when he got home, I was yelling at him, take the trash out, and he's, you know, limping around. And sometimes I forget when you do that for a career, it's really hard to come home and then have to play like the dad and spouse role when you're so beat up, but stuff still needs to get done.
Then my next thing was I went to go do I wanted to do a 540 in something in a backyard pool, and Jake Phelps was like, no one's ever done a padless 540 in a backyard pool. This photo was actually taken by Lance Dawes.
I think Omar had some idea. He's like, I want to be the first person to do a 540 or McTwist, whatever, in a backyard pool. In maybe the early, mid-90s when it wasn't, you were really segregating what you skated, right? Like you were the street guy, or you're a vert guy, or you're a pool guy. Omar was one of the very few people, I think, that the whole term ATV kind of came up with, like Drahobel, Wade, Cardiel, Omar. Those dudes skated everything, everywhere, it didn't matter. You never put them in a box. I mean, he rips at vert. I don't think of him as a vert guy. I don't think of him anyway. I just think of him as like Omar.
Omar Hassan is an inspiration to any generation of skateboarder. He's been through it all. He's lasted forever. Every generation of skaters is a fan of Omar, and I think that's a pretty special thing.
Any sport out there, there's no athletes that are on top for 30 years. After like 10, they're like retired and, you know, one of the owners of the team or whatever, or coaching. So he's ruling it. He's still killing it today.
I remember the first time I seen Omar. He came to the turf and he was like 16. He was like going, you know what I mean? He was Omar. He was full Omar show, like full power, full energy, the same energy he's had almost the entire time, you know? Like, I think because he gives so much of himself to skateboarding, it's like sustained him, you know? Like he puts his whole self into it. Like he's there to fucking get it on, you know?
Omar's done a fantastic job of making this a real thing. He's put a lot of work in, and I thank him, and I think he's encouraged a lot of people because it comes and goes so quickly, and I think almost every skateboarder is going to look back and go, I could have done a little more. And I think Omar does that every day, and he does so much. So he's an inspiration to a lot of people, I think, for putting that work in.
how to say it immediately. Okay?